Hello everybody, Russian Batman here back with another video. And yes, we are completing the custom royale, the original custom royale. So as you can see, I am on the Mission X Discord server. Before I just showed the drawings off, which, yeah, those end up all pretty cool. I finished them all. I just wanted to kind of give a quick shout out to just everyone who submitted, and I'm on the Discord server right now just so I could show you all of it. And yeah, so everyone who submitted, just going off the most recent to least recent. Um, I think this person released it like very like the last day. But this is Animal Kid. So shout out to Animal Kid, American Joker. This is Animal Kid again. Um, J Scrav, if I'm pronouncing that right. And these are just some questions. We also have Leechies, Okay Guy, Pickle Bricks, and then Billy Bobby Bill, I think. Billy Bobo Bill, I think. And he just submitted two. So yeah, that is all of the submissions, and I was really worried that like no one would submit, but we got like a good amount of submissions. Something I didn't realize is I should have specified in the rules that you should only submit one character, because even though like some of these have like a group, like this one from Animal Kid, or like this one from J Scrav, they have like multiple characters. I did choose a few characters that were in a group, but I only chose one of the characters, if that makes sense. Like, you probably saw from the thumbnail, I guess is a bit of a spoiler, but Animal Kid is one of them who I chose, and I only chose this character up here. I like the rest of them, but I didn't want to draw like everyone who submitted a group of characters. I didn't want to draw a group. I wanted to draw one character per submission. So it's fine because there wasn't a lot of people. But yeah, next time if I do, I might specify, or maybe I'll change the rules up next time if I want to do it next time, because this was really fun. I really like this, and a lot of these customs are really good, and it was kind of hard to decide. I ended up doing four. I chose four characters, and yeah, but like I said, I just want to give a proper look at all these, and I really like all of them. They're creative, and I didn't even realize you about renders and drawing minifigures, like what Billy did over here and what American Joker did down here. I didn't even think to mention that in the rules, but that definitely counts. You know, like no one's disqualified for anything. But yeah, I'm really happy with this, and let's just go straight into checking out the drawing. So yeah, let's go with the first one, which I just kind of I spoiled, and it's in the thumbnail. The first one is I think it's the crow, I think he calls it. Yeah, the crow, the infamous crow from Animal Kid. So let's go straight into it. Alright, so as you know, the first one I chose was this one by Animal Kid, and I mentioned this before. Animal Kid, he posted his like the very last day, and I remember because I was checking in on the Discord, the Royale, like frequently, and early on, I think Animal Kid asked like, "Oh, when's it due?" And they gave the date, and they got like, and they're like, "All right, thanks." But I was worried that they wouldn't make it, but they did, and they posted this group of customs. I think, yeah, so it's supposed to be this like crew, and I think the character I'm drawing now is like the main antagonist, and he calls him the infamous Crow. I went with the infamous Crow because that's some really creative part usages. Mainly the Star-Lord guns act as some sort of, I interpret them as some sort of like gauntlets he kind of uses to control the wings. So I add a little attachment that attaches the gauntlets he has to the wings. And yeah, and I think just the part usage is really good with the that face from I think it's from, what's it called, from Vulture. And obviously a lot of Vulture inspiration when I drew him, because I interpreted the roller skates as kind of like Vulture kind of claws. Because I kind of just, with a lot of these customs, especially when you're doing purist, you got to kind of assume a few things. So that's what I assume it was supposed to kind of represent. And then I try to stay true to the custom. I do add a little bit in the torso. I add a little bit of red, because in the original custom, they use another a piece from Guardians of the Galaxy, I think. It was a torso plate with 3 scratches in it. I wanted to make him red just to kind of, I don't know, add a little touch of red to the design. And yeah, I'm this one, at least as it is of a drawing, I'm not super proud of like the pose. I think the pose is a bit generic, and the proportions do look a little wonky. However, I do really like the rendering, especially I make the eyes like glowy on the outside. So there's a little bit of glow to the green eyes, which I think looks really cool. And I just really like this design in general. You know, although I do make custom, like, non-purist customs, I do really appreciate purist customs, how people can just find parts that aren't meant to be for a certain character and make them work. And I really also do like purist customs as purist, like, original customs, as well as kind of a reason I did this, because I know, like, just kind of finding parts and saying like, oh yeah, this could work for this character, or I want to make this sort of character, and there's like a part that inspires that. That's really cool, and I really like doing that. And that's kind of what, because I think in my most recent showcase, I showed off some like original fire character that I just kind of took random parts and started painting, and that was really fun. And that's kind of what kind of inspired to do this original Royale. Now, I'm not super happy with this drawing to see how the wings turn out. And this drawing does have a lot of black to it, which is just a little bit annoying to work with, because, it's hard, especially when parts of the body are overlapping. It's a little bit tricky to silhouette the character when he has so much black to him. So like you see it's hard to differentiate like the forearm from the body when, it's all just kind of dark, if that makes sense. But I still think it looks really good. And yeah, I do think I maybe went a little bit too literal with the guns there, with the gauntlets, making them look too much like the original Star-Lord kind of blasters, but backwards. But I still really like how it turned out. And also I go a bit of a different look with the wings. In the original custom, they kind of use these very, flowy, natural looking wings. I go a bit mechanical and more angular with these wings. So yeah, just to kind of make it look more mechanical, because I'm assuming it, at least based off the custom, it's intentional to be mechanical, because it's all silver and whatnot. You can see here going in with the coloring, and also I give it a bit of a different expression. Instead of the kind of angry mouth open look, I do like a kind of angry mouth closed. But like I said, I really like how this custom. I really like this custom, and I do like how the drawing turns out. I don't think it's the best out of all of them, but I do think it's really good. So like I said, just big shout out to the first. I don't want to say winner, because it's not really. Well, it kind of is a competition, because I'm choosing which ones I want to use. But yeah, so the first one I chose, which is the infamous crow from Animal Goods. So thank you so much. I really like your custom. And what are the other four gonna be? This is all mystery, because unless you already saw the video, but because this is the intentional, putting the first one in the thumbnail, so only the first one gets spoiled. So sorry, Animal Kid, if you wanted some anticipation to if your character would have been chosen, it did. So yeah, and I probably already spoiled it before the video, because I was thinking about releasing like a little teaser, of the thumbnail. I thought that might be cool. I don't know, maybe I did release it, maybe I didn't, because I'm editing this before. So yeah, I'm actually editing this like the day before, which I usually don't do. I usually edit like several days in advance. But yeah, but there it is, the infamous crow from Animal Kid. And yeah, and I think maybe next time when I do one of these, because a lot of people did submit like groups of characters, which I really like. Like the group they submitted, it was like he had a tiger character, like the main character, and like some lady or whatnot. I would love to do a group of characters. I just didn't want to do it for this one, just because if I drew like everyone's group of characters, that would be a lot, and I wouldn't have been able to choose more than just a few, like more than just like two submissions. So maybe next time I might do a competition where I ask everyone to submit a group of characters, and then I'd only choose one, if that makes sense. Like everyone makes a group of like 4 characters. Yeah, so you can see the outer glow I kind of add. I really like how that looks, and boom, there's the final drawing. Yep. And I just added generic red background. Okay, next up, who is this? Well, this is from Leeches, and this is his character that he submitted, called I think this is the Badass Cyberman. Yes. So, shoot, well, I just dropped a crap ton of stuff. In his video, no, in his submission, he submitted. Damn, I'm dropping everything. He submitted another group of characters. He submitted 3 characters. He submitted. He calls them. The Ghost is the first one. So the Ghost, the New York Phantom, and the Badass Cyberman. I really like the name New York Phantom, and I was really tempted to do the New York Phantom. So yeah, but all of them looked really cool. Like the first one, it had like a completely silver face. The second one was just kind of this really nice suit design, and the third one, which is the one I chose, the Badass Cyberman, had a really interesting method to make these cybernetic legs, where they use some clips and some like weird handlebar things to make these cybernetic legs, and I thought it looked really cool, and I wanted to kind of make some cybernetic legs myself, so I thought it'd be really cool to choose this guy, the Badass Cyberman. So that's what I tried to do. Make the Badass Cyberman, and I'm pretty happy with this one. I do think some of the proportions are a bit weird, especially in the upper torso. And I'm usually not super great at making like things look super mechanical, because I do prefer drawing more natural things with more natural shapes. But I do really like how this turned out, and I wanted to go with kind of a really pointy look at the end of the feet. Although he does, in his submission, he adds like some black studs on the bottom, which might probably represent like some like weird mechanical feet. I decided not to go that route. I decided to go with just the pointy at the end, because I think it would look better with the general how thin the legs are. So yeah, that's what I go with. And yeah, like I said, big shout out to Lychee for making this the Badass Cyberman. I really like how this one. I really like your custom, and I really like how this drawing looks. So like I said, big shout out to Lychees. Thank you so much for submitting your entry for the original custom Royale. If we do another one of these, I hope to see y'all again. I hope to see everyone again. So yeah, this drawing's a bit shorter than the other one, because it took me a bit quicker to make this one. I could have just like sped up the other one more, but yeah, you can see me going in with the shadows again, same method I've been using. And all the backgrounds, like I said, I do that off camera, and they're all pretty generic. Like the first one had a red background. This one I think has I don't think it's a blue. I think this one has a green background. One has a pink background, and the last one has a blue background. So who could the characters be with those backgrounds? It's like the background theory from Smash Bros. Ultimate. But yeah, let's show off the final drawing here in just a second. And Kabooey! There you go. There you go. Green background. I'm really happy how that looked. All right. Last but certainly not least, I was considering not doing this, because I'm kind of legally obligated to do. This is American Joker's submission, of course. I know, Russian Batman, American Joker, dynamic duo. But I decided to go with American Joker's. Now, I was thinking not doing his, because his isn't really an original character. It's really just kind of like, I don't know why he submitted it. It's not original. It's just the average depiction of, it's just the average British police officer, you know? I don't get what's so original about it. Like I said, it's just a British person. But yeah, all jokes aside, I really like how this guy looks. He's the only one who submitted a rendered custom, meaning he went into Mecha Bricks and chose parts from there, which is fine, which is actually great. But yeah, so he used, I think it was like the head from Lord of the Rings and like a police body, but it's also kind of, you know, looks like post-apocalyptic. So I thought it would look really cool, just to kind of make it look like, you know, some weird zombie officer thing. Did I just burp there? I think I did. Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, and I really like how this turned out. I really like adding like random bandages and all the things strapped to this character. I think it looks really cool. Yeah, and it's really a cool design. It's fun. So thank you so much, American Joker. He is the second to last that I chose for this little competition thing. But yeah, and then also I like I said, I do some creative liberty, obviously, with all of these. With the hands, American Joker, at least on the one hand that you could see, he chose pink hands. Now, I didn't know if those were gloves or if the actual skin was pink. So what I did is I first the hands, I put it over with the weird off yellow flesh tone, as you see there. I do that flesh tone, but then I add kind of like a little bit of purple veins. But on the hands, you can see I had the tips of the fingers are just really purple. So that's kind of how I interpreted it, as just kind of really dead, lifeless, just purple fingers. So yeah, and I really like how that looks. So yeah, this drawing, I definitely really like how the face looked. I think the face is the best because just the face I had to work with was really good. It was just this I think it's from Lord of the Rings. It's a bit different than that, but it's still a creepy zombie smile that I'm really and I think I go with a red shadow for this one, a little bit of a red shadow. Usually when I do shadows, I either do like red or blue. I don't know why I don't really do any other colors for the shadow. But yeah, I never go with a pure black for the shadow, just to add a little bit of color in there, just so it could just pop a little bit, look at you look at it and you're like, whoa, that's cool, hopefully. But yeah, and I don't know if American Joker has a name for this character. He just posted the image, no explanation. I think everyone else, I'm gonna check, except Okay Guy, and then Billy Bob didn't post anything, which is fine. You don't have to post any explanation for the character. It's just a bit cool, because then I can talk about your character a little bit if you want, if we do this again, which I want to do this again. If you have any suggestions of how we could do it again, leave it below, or what you would want to submit. If you want to submit drawings, if you want to submit more customs. What I thought about maybe doing a thing where you submit drawings and I make it into a custom. I don't know, I'm just spitballing. And there's the final drawing, purple generic background. Last but certainly not least, I already kind of drew a little bit off camera. This is the submission from Okay Guy, which I kind of spoiled a little bit. But yeah, Okay Guy's submission he's the only one I had to I feel like I was legally obligated to choose his, because he was the only one who submitted a painted custom, which I'm really happy with, and I'm proud of him, because I like making painted customs. So yeah, he made a painted custom of this kind of it looked like a Space Marine guy. So that's what I try to go with. I was very Master Chief inspired with this design, obviously. And yeah, I just kind of went with it. I'm really happy how the end result of this looks, because at first it was kind of looking a bit sloppy with the proportions and whatnot. But then I kind of messed with it a little bit more and add some detail, and I'm really happy. Like I said, no name for this character. Just Okay Guy submitted it. It looks like some cybernetic guy with a sword. So yeah, that's what I messed with the pose of the sword a little bit to kind of make it look a bit better. Yeah, and I don't think the sword, and I add a little bit of glow to the end of the sword, because he chooses a Lord of the Rings sword for a sci-fi character. So I do change that a little bit, just so it kind of fits the more sci-fi theme. I kind of make it a bit more of a laser sword at the end, at the tips. But yeah, and overall, I just really like how the custom looks, and how the X in the middle looks. I was worried about that, but I think it looks really good. I kind of give it a bit of a glow, like the chest X is glowing. Yeah, you see throughout the drawing, towards the end, I add some rim lighting, which ends up looking really cool to kind of emphasize that the chest and the sword have this kind of glow to it. So yeah, this drawing is probably one of my favorites out of all the drawings I've made. But yeah, and like I said, just big shout out to Okay Guy for submitting his entry. And yeah, so those are the 4 people that I chose. So just to recap, it was the infamous Crow from Animal Kid, some zombie from American Joker, the badass Cyberman from Leeches, and then this I'm gonna call him Space Marine from Okay Guy. So thank you so much. There's a lot of other ones I thought about doing, but I wanted to reduce it to just have 5, because if I did, I think more than that, I think it would be a bit too much. And yeah, but there are some other really good ones I wanted to do, and I wish I could have done everything. But if I did everything, then there would be no intrigue. No one would be like, ooh, did I get in? Did I not get in? Ooh, or I don't know. Or maybe I'm making some fake suspense or whatever. But yeah, thank you everyone for submitting. If I do this again, I'll release another announcement video. If you guys want to see this again, please let me know. I've been thinking about maybe, because I forgot to mention, huge shout out to Machine X. Thank you. I'll leave his channel in the description, everything. thank you so much, Mission X, for allowing me to do this on your Discord server. It's kind of a collaboration sort of thing where he basically let me everything is done on his Discord server. So yeah, and to everyone, leave a like if you want, subscribe if you want, and go watch the 2011 film Rango because it's a great film. But don't leave yet because you got to see the final drawing. The background for this actually looks pretty cool. It's just it's a little bit generic. It's just kind of a black background with it's a black background with but like it looks a little spacey because like a gradient. No, it's a blue and black background with a bit of gradient. So yeah, like I said, everyone have a nice rest of the day, and let's check out the final drawing. You see the rim lighting there, and boom, there you go.